Kick off to the top left-hand side. Our red Terran player from Sidestorm Gaming will be GuMiho. Up against the blue Protoss on the bottom right side of the map from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it's herO. Yeah, like I said, guys, we're kind of jumping around everywhere today, and like, it's not normal. Usually I would stay in the winner bracket for so long. I think we made a special case of herO playing. Maybe we do this. Maybe we can catch another herO game or something. I don't know. Let's just take it as it comes, right? Let's just see what the hell goes down. Alright, well, herO was really good recently against GuMi when they played in the Lima League. Again, herO in the bottom right corner of the map as we get this up and running. Simulator coming through, gateway setting up. We already have a pylon across the map from herO in the natural of his opponent. So herO going to get aggressive right off the get-go. He's going to go full on into this, you know, head first into this aggressive opening. I'm kind of down for it. I'm down to see what the hell comes out of this as we do drop a second gateway. So it's another gateway for the moment coming through as our probe is going to turn away and now try and figure out where it wants to end up moving to. Pro Scout's the main, sees a rack. So obviously the thing is from GuMiho, without an SCV Scout, it's very hard for you to know what's going on. So it's very difficult to know kind of exactly what's happening here. And that might come back to bite you a little bit. He does high ground CC though, so he's maybe a little bit suspicious. I mean, that already helps a whole bunch as this probe is going to leave. Doesn't necessarily completely put an end to herO's aggression, but it definitely helps because now herO won't be able to do much on the natural or slows down as easily. So yeah, definitely gives GuMiho a helping hand in this defense. And Stalkers are starting, and obviously it is going to be a question mark of seeing how long it takes them to get across the map, etc. Reaper finds the probe and is going to be drawn out to the right side by the probe. Although the probe survives, the Reaper now has to dive further out, and obviously we actually see the Stalker coming up now. And GuMiho really knows what's up without... Oh, he did scout the gateway in the end, so he did kind of see what's going on. I was going to say the bunker. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, he scouted the gateway in the end, so he does know what's going on. Bunker not finished yet. The Stalker fighting. Obviously, the other Stalker has all the way across the map to walk still, so a while until it will be active in play as the Reaper takes some hits, but obviously GuMiho will not let that go down, pulling it back when it's low. And now the Stalkers just kind of try and delay the CC as long as possible. They should be able to get that SCV one more time. They will. And that will be that for the moment. As Reaper hops out and is going to be hop into the low ground. Oh, nice Widowmine shot. Going to kill off a Stalker already. So a Stalker already gets picked off there. The Twilight Council building in the main base. And this is going to be a Chrono Boost on the Warp Gate. So bringing this up as well. Getting that going in a moment or so. Again, Twilight just about halfway done here as we do see our Reaper gonna hop up to the high ground, trying to see a little bit of what's happening at the moment. Obviously, it's getting weird because GuMiho doesn't have his low ground, but herO is now finally able to expand late himself. So it's kind of like a weird in-between that we've got here. As a Hallucinate Colossus provides high ground vision. Could give that up for the Widowmine as well, and actually does survive the Widowmine shot, which is what's really cool. So now you kill the Widowmine, still had the high ground vision to get the Widowmine kill after it had fired. So it's actually really cute. Most other things would have actually died to the Widowmine, most other hallucinations, but the Hallucinate Colossus survives. That's actually genuinely... Honestly, if you'd asked me about that, I wouldn't have known that either. I wouldn't have been able to tell you. So that's I assume that was the reason he built the Colossus as well, unless it was just blind luck, but I mean, it makes the most sense. I mean, most people, you can still just build a Phoenix and do the exact same thing otherwise, or hallucinate Phoenix and do the exact same thing otherwise, you know? Just gonna see our Robo facility going to be coming through as the Blink is going to be finishing up on the Twilight Council sometime soon. Just going to be getting that coming in. Siege tank on the way, a couple extra Marines on the way out. As we do have that tank sieging up, and Stalker's taking a bit of damage. Just going to see our Stalker's taking a step back right there. Marines in the main gonna unload for a few more probes, so actually we'll get some decent damage done, and we'll drop actually turning out well as that medevac, ooh, somehow didn't take a shot to go down, so GuMiho will keep the medevac alive. That's actually significant damage. 11 probes have died, in fact. But mine's going to get to fire again very soon, too, so this is going to be, I mean, how many more dead probes? He knows it's there, so just the one. Good reaction from herO, but obviously no detection means he's just got to keep pulling units away every time. Robo is up, Observer is on the way. As we finally clean out this gateway, GuMiho gets to his natural. With the damage he's put on across the map, I do think we've got ourselves a bit of a GuMiho lead after the first 6 minutes of the game. And now herO's dropping a Dark Shrine. So he's got Blink, he'll get DTs up. We'll see if they can make a change in the game, make a difference. As we get that ready to go with the Hallucinated Phoenix making its way to the top side of the map. So herO for a scout in toward the main in the next few moments here. That Raven is about to finish, and of course Stimpack is already coming through as well as our Hallucination tags up the Raven a little bit. Just going to be seeing the Starfall coming through, and that's going to drop down and build its own reactor. But full information from herO. That's the power of the hallucinations, and using those a few times over. Temple Archive is the follow-up now as well, so actually going to go from this into, I mean, do you go Storm or just Archons? I think Storm would be a bit wild. Maybe just Archons initially. But, I mean, I guess you've already got DTs to make Archons with, so maybe Storm it is. herO does take the Stalkers up to this high ground. We'll be able to get one Marine. We'll get two. So a couple of Marines already falling. Not a bad start. Two more DTs finishing up there, and herO is going to be able to lift those back up into the Warp Prism as well. So just getting that back up and running. I'm just going to take this Prism into the main base now. We'll be using this as a way to get some DTs into play. Just scan. Nice scan. Kills both the DTs. Prism wasn't close enough to go save it. GuMiho's playing a great game right now, guys. Really defending anything and everything that herO wants to try and throw at him. Not really giving herO any real moments to get much done. Other DT is getting to work. SCVs are being sliced away at. I mean, this one at least will start to get some damage, and GuMiho also has a DT still in the main. This one will get away in the Prism, so this is turning into a little bit more of an annoyance now. Finally, herO is finding some success. I wonder if he just has enough army supply, though. If GuMiho had detection like a Raven, I think he could go across the map and kill herO, but because he doesn't, he actually can't go across the map, and if he can't go across the map, unfortunately, he's just kind of left in this kind of weird place where he's going to be able to, well, not really do much else. Yeah, that's going to be kind of rough, right? Where you just can't really kind of deal with these DTs, so you can't go across the map, and you can't take advantage of your massive army supply lead, which comes from obviously having defended fairly well across the board so far. GuMiho did end up losing 12 workers overall in this game. I know we don't have game hard on, so just going to try and keep those worker kill counts accurate for you all as often as I can. As you can see, will at least increase the number of scans you have available. Help out a little bit extra. Temple Archive is going to finish up. That's Storm upgrades. Now Storm is done. I mean, you can just see how much time herO's been able to buy before GuMiho is comfortable moving out onto the map. So finally comfortable knowing a little bit more of what's up. One Zard going down, the other Zard trying to escape away. Get rid of a pylon here as well. Just going to be seeing, well, Prism drops the High Templar on top. He didn't get any Storms off. Only one Storm out of 3 High Templar. Feel like they might have dropped a little bit too close to the army, and herO may be a little bit panicked. Is going to lose out on all 3 High Templar. That is massive, and these probes are now just dying as they walk on into this. That is a cleanup, and that is GuMiho taking the 1-0 lead over herO. What a disaster for herO with those storms not going off. That is bottom right corner of the map. Our red Terran player is going to be up 1-0. It is GuMiho. And in the top left-hand side, the blue Protoss player will be herO. Yeah, that storm attempt was obviously just not it. A bit too close to the bio. Didn't get his storms off before the Templar died, and that obviously was... yeah, he was already in a difficult spot. The storms were meant to be the one thing that could save him. Obviously, the storms will not save him in that kind of scenario, so a little bit tough right there, as you do have our gateway building in the main base. Just getting that up and running. Well, this time it's going to be GuMiho, who's a little bit more adventurous. A barracks out on the right-hand side, so he will be the one to initiate a little bit of a crazier build order here. And this racks up in the next few moments, and obviously having it rallying to the upper left side. We'll finish up, and a Reaper on the way. Probe just going to be chased away as well by the SCV, and a Zealot on the way out. So obviously Probe knows there's no barracks in the base, so you build that Zealot as a little bit of a safety precaution. And it does delay things by 100 minerals, but she does kind of have a bit of an impact on the Protoss build, usually, especially delaying the Nexus. Like I say, a decent safety precaution to be taken given what you are seeing here, so shouldn't really come as too much of a surprise either. As there is this Rax finishing, and that Reaper pops out and starts to journey on down to the bottom right corner of the map. I will hop up and make friends with this Probe. Bye-bye. Probe gets killed just like that, huh? So yeah, Reaper kind of close enough to home that it could obviously turn around and just go and deal with that. And I'm gonna go for it, turn back around to the center, and SCV into the natural. And we do have that Adept is gonna get that SCV as well, so SCV will go down. And the Nexus setting up too. Target's about to complete from herO, and again the starport is building from GuMiho as well. A couple of grenades going down, and Reapers will push the Adept back just slightly. Game settles down, then obviously GuMiho is still just one base in it. And we'll start a CC now, but obviously with being a one-base commitment initially, you're kind of hoping to get some damage done at some point in here, otherwise you're going to be in some trouble. If you don't get something done, I mean, the Protoss expansion, okay, it wasn't the fastest expansion from the Protoss, but still a lot quicker than your Terran expansion would have been. There's that Adept going for that Shade. The barracks building up in the main base. It's going to be 2 racks of factory. Starport all set up. And obviously the CC is now at least on the way, so there's more of a follow-up. I mean, this is honestly just like a quick Widow Mine drop more than anything. There's not really too much pressure behind this, and I guess that's because you go for, you know, initially that Double Reaper, which just died off, sorry, to these Adepts. They just got the kills. I mean, Double Reaper, now you don't have anything defending this Oracle. Well, yeah, I mean, herO can't quite believe it, because, I mean, the only Widow Mines, there is one Widow Mine left here, right? Yeah, behind the starport, so hero's a little afraid, and he still gets 5 kills. First Widow Mine gets a few probes. Next Widow Mine should be lifted by the Phoenix. Oh, he lifted his probe! He lifted his own probe twice! No! The Widow Mine gets 5 kills after he lifted his own probes 2 times. herO missed microing today. Maybe those hands just aren't warmed up properly, because this is definitely not the... I mean, herO is meant to be really good at micro. Like, it's one of the things he really excels at, right? Oh, no, 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 no! No! At least he gets the revelation, but, I mean, the Widow Mine's already fired and killed the Oracles, so no love lost there. Oh, man. Bit of a tough day for herO right now, as he's down a game and losing a lot of stuff in this game number 2 as well. Taking a lot more damage than maybe expected, although still in an okay worker position. I mean, I didn't really like GuMiho's build. The Double Reaper slows everything else down so much anyway. But the Widow Mine shot as Cyclones come through for the lock-on, so you won't do much with Adept Phoenix just yet. This game will have to continue through for a little while before anything comes of that, as we do have the Adepts being denied. And the Phoenix at the same time, at least, able to just go onto that natural expansion and just pick away a whole chunk of SCVs. So, able to really hit that economy of GuMiho once more. Again, we don't have game hard on players hosting lobbies and stuff, guys. It's something that just happens in these open qualifiers a lot. But yeah, it's 10 probes to 12 SCVs died, so it's been a lot of workers going down all game long on either side. This Phoenix will get active once again, flying on through. Put a bit of damage out. Stimp back, combat shield, +1 attack upgrades. GuMiho getting to all of those upgrades, which would be oh so good for him if he gets there. He's actually in a really bad worker spot now. 14 workers down. He does have 2 cyclones across the map. He gets the lock-ons. You can see the Phoenix chasing it to maybe lift and cancel those lock-ons, but he actually just gets chased back anyway. He's going to kind of run into the Phoenix. I mean, they lift a little bit, and they don't do much else. 1 lock-on still active. The rest of the army coming up from herO. GuMiho needs to put some work in, because he definitely needs to kind of catch up on workers somehow, but that ain't going to happen with the way this is currently going. A handful of Marines still trying to zone out the Phoenix down on the bottom side. I'm just going to be seeing a couple more Marines. It's going to be picked off. I mean, value from the Phoenix, right? And the Phoenix will continue to get a lot of kills during this, and that's definitely one of the main things that's going to be aiding herO here, as the Phoenix are continuing to keep him ahead in workers and need to kind of try and shave off that army a little bit. I'm a little bit afraid of this army. You're talking about 2 Immortals, 3 Stalkers, and 2 Sentries on the ground against 20 Marines. I mean, obviously the 7 Phoenix can help, but how much do they really help against that Marine count? I'm not too sure if it's going to be enough. This is also an upgrade lead as well, +1 attack against no upgrades. So GuMiho has a very good potential moment or two here to attack in. Also some cyclones. No battery either. I can't believe how little there is for herO on the natural. I mean, it's maybe one which you would just about be able to clean up, but he's not doing anything to make it easier for himself, right? GuMiho backs it up and respects it. The 2 Immortals are very tanky, and that's worth keeping in mind as well. It's probably a smart idea to back away, really, and maybe getting carried away. Especially when the Protoss only has 2 bases. You don't necessarily ever want to attack into a 2-base Protoss. Usually if the Protoss has only 2 bases, you're already doing a good enough job of slowing them down, and you just say, cool, your third is late, and as long as your third is not super far ahead of mine, I'm in an okay position in a longer game. So that is what GuMiho will stick around for here. He'll play for the longer game more so than anything else, as Medevac comes around the top side. A few Phoenix moving back around into the center, just kind of flying up the right there. Army now back around the bottom, as we do see the Phoenix coming through once more. Medevac going to go and unload a couple of Widow Mines into this mineral line, so already seen a few of these in some trouble. A couple Stalkers being picked away at. And even just losing Stalkers is expensive, though. Obviously, this attack only has 1 life, because the Phoenix will come and clean it up immediately. But this is a 3rd base, again in trouble. Battery already going to be dying, as the Cyclones just show up, lock onto it, get rid of it. GuMiho will not commit. He's afraid of the Colossus, but yeah, I mean, I can appreciate that. He doesn't even have the Marauders here, right? This is just the Marines. If he had Marauders in this army, maybe it is a fight he could jump onto a little bit. Upgrade lead, etc. And maybe we'll see him do that with the Marauder count ever growing now. His own 3rd CC just building in position. Confident that he has the map control to pull that off without it being delayed, denied. Or just running into general trouble with the Protoss. Marines firing, Phoenix pulled back. In the bottom left corner, we've got a force as well. So this is now going to be a bit more of a split attack from GuMiho, trying to force his opponent to split up and maybe try and punish that a bit. I think herO's realizing it, because he's like, why are you only up here with this many units? Why are you trying to do something into all those Phoenix that you'll never be able to drop? And he's like, wait, you're trying to pull me out of position. So he gets the rest of his army back in time to actually deal with this, and GuMiho will now still be denied an opening. Still unable to find a chance to really make something out of all of this. And so on we go. You know, army moving up the right side slightly. These Phoenix fly over the Marines, and that's obviously not good. Any Phoenix kill is a good Phoenix kill because they're usually very speedy, very quick to get out of there. Not easy to kill off at all. So, well, off Phoenix again, it takes away some of that efficiency that you can generally find as the Protoss player as well. Talked about how those Phoenix can always be flying around the map, finding units, finding workers, and all that sort of stuff. There's a bio army around the top with the army on the bottom side as well. This one's already clashing. Again, I get it. There's 3 disruptors, there's a lot of force fields. It's scary, but I feel like a lot of the time herO is really flirting with danger because a lot of his armies do not really look good enough to be on the map or, you know, close to taking a fight and so on. He's not allowed a 4th base either, as GuMiho gets his own 4th already building as well, so maybe another advantage for GuMiho to continue through here. Bioforce sets up on the 12 o'clock. Army will take down these rocks, so wouldn't mind gets the Stalker. Disruptors out in the open. Miss rally from herO. His army split around 2 different sections of this ramp. When he clicked up here, some of it went down, some of it went straight up. And that's an easy picking for GuMiho, who gets himself a couple disruptors basically for free. Cost him a Widowmine or 2 that he left behind. Wasn't really connected to what else was happening there. All these Phoenix going back up to the top side. Now, herO, just again, it feels like all game long we've been saying, oh, this didn't go well for him, that hasn't gone right for him. It's been kind of a consistent all the way throughout this, as we do have Ghosts involved now. Colossus, I mean, there's only 2 as well, so it's not like you need a ton of Vikings. It's actually somewhat, you know, possible to fight this without Vikings. If there's 3, 4 Colossi, we're in a bit of a different story, maybe. GuMiho just checking, there's no base down that bottom side, he just realized it's up at the top. The army is already splitting, so herO is very aware of the fact that GuMiho is not just coming from one direction. That's a drop into the main base. Took a while to get these Marines loaded up, but he's going to drop now. The Stalkers don't have vision right away. There's a bit of a dark spot, so a moment or 2 late on the response, as now you get the drop into the main. The EMPs kind of miss. There's actually a medevac of units still not loaded up, and honestly, he probably could have fought this if he actually unloaded the rest of his units. I think he probably could have done okay. Jump onto this next. It's going to kill that off. Another Phoenix going down. 4 Vikings fighting the Colossi as we continue to see this Bioforce chased away out to the right-hand side. More army loading up, readying for a drop into the main. Stalker now gets picked off, and just seeing all these Stalkers up the top side or in the main base hanging around as well. GuMiho's going to back it up down to the bottom right side. Maybe it's the YOLO Terran inside of me, and maybe that's why I'm not very high ranked, but I really do feel like there's been so many moments in this game where I feel like a lot of, even someone like Clem, though, I feel like maybe would have just jumped on some of these armies and tried to trade out, where GuMiho has been much more slow going, letting kind of herO live, letting herO survive another trade out and so on. It's been, you know, what feels like a lot of that so far as herO comes back up to the top and is going to hunt down that Bioforce. EMP is going down, rest of the Bio army in the bottom left corner. Okay, I think this time herO's army split isn't good. He's got most of his army to the top, nothing on this base, EMPs, and that's the end of any chance of recalling. Oh, GuMiho get the probes, though. He really could have taken a step forward to deal with the probes. He is moving with this drop instead. That's where his focus was. I mean, fair enough, but he could have also had like 20 probes on this, because all he had to do was step up a little bit, and those probes would have been goners. So, at the same time, probes don't really have anywhere to go to. They're all just oversaturating. As now we drop back into the main base, and herO just has not been able to stabilize all game long. And so he says, finally, you know what, GuMiho, you refuse to fight my army. Let me make you fight my army. As these probes pull into this Bioforce, well, that's not going to go well, as GuMiho is launching a nuke on herO's third base, but he has to defend against this army here. Splitting against Disruptors. Vikings will try and do what they can against the Colossi, but they're on their own. GuMiho's army is starting to come back. This nuke's actually going to land for all of the probes on the third base. Unnecessary? Maybe. But actually, I mean, it does clean out economy, as obviously GuMiho is killing the main. He's killing a lot of production, but herO's army is on top of GuMiho's production. Oh, these ghosts. Not seen by anything. There's no detection, so the only way to kill those ghosts is going to be the disruptors at the moment. Wow, that's actually kind of a big deal, as these ghosts are just putting in some work right now. I mean, that's kind of funny. And they can obviously just choose. I mean, are they just picking off the Colossus? I mean, I'd like to see them target fire the Colossus, I guess. These ghosts trying to stay involved. You know what it is as well? It's just such a difficult decision right now is what's happening. Oh, GuMiho! Why are we going up the ramp against the disruptors like that? It's unnecessary, I think, as he's going to continue to stim up here. GuMiho's army supply is behind. As remember that not everything is here right now either. We actually recall home with a bunch of stuff. I mean, herO recalls home onto just one base. Oh my god, the disruptor in the main base. GuMiho didn't finish it off, so that disruptor gets even more damage. GuMiho has a small amount of production still around. herO is just Stalker Disruptor. I mean, that's a scary composition to play with. It's very hit or miss. GuMiho has bases everywhere, by the way, as well. Another big deal. I can't believe those ghosts were on top of that army this entire time as well. They were just dealing damage. And that's why I was surprised that GuMiho ran up the ramp into the disruptor shot that I really thought he knew was still available. You can see these disruptors. Oh no, he doesn't get that last disruptor kill. Oh, well, this is awkward because I don't even know if the stalkers can actually kill off a lot of the like planetaries right now. Oh my god, GuMiho's going to type GG as herO is going to take the win. Oh, GuMiho, what a disaster in the last few moments. That should have been very winnable. Wow. Going to start off down in the bottom left-hand side. As you have our red Terran player. If he just, honestly, I feel like he didn't pick any fights that he could have picked until the fights weren't going to be good for him. And then he picked the fights. GuMiho in the bottom left corner is our red Terran up against the blue Protoss top right herO, who is lucky to still be in the tournament right now. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream today, do hit that follow button. And if you're really enjoying, maybe do consider hitting the subscribe button. If you've got a Prime sub sitting around, always goes a long way to supporting. Just gotta mention that, of course, every now and then. Sell out a little bit. Thanks for the love today. Thanks for tuning in to the ASUS ROG Korean server qualifier. As herO is kind of boosting up on this main nexus. Yeah, I think GuMiho could have done a lot of things there, but just fighting the army was not it. He actually also half-killed like 3 disruptors and didn't just fully focus them all down, so they all got their shots off rather than like just killing 2 and just taking 1 disruptor shot. Man. Yeah, a bit of a disaster from GuMiho. Like I said, I really felt he made the game more complicated than it ever needed to be in the first place, though. Given here's your TV. 75,000 points to balance. Why Terran should have played better. Let's see if you're moving back up the top. Reaper has just popped out, and we're just seeing GuMiho having a look around. Twilight Council building from here already. Obviously, herO really committing to something crazy this game with this Twilight Council in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. So we are getting into a very, very herO-esque kind of build. Twilight and a Robo. We're just going to one-base rush DTs. GuMiho has the SCV scout to be like, well, you're not expanding. So GuMiho should at least somewhat be questioning a little bit what the hell is going on from herO here. There's a Dark Shrine actually building that. Dark Shrine in the main base after everything else is on the map. It's kind of funny. This Reaper as well is like checking the upper left corner. How unfortunate is that? You pick a corner to scout and you pick the upper left and the tech's in the bottom right. I mean, that's just part of the RNG of the game if you're only going to end up checking one corner. Maybe he ends up checking the other, given a few moments here. Like, maybe he does go for it in the end. Just, obviously, it will take the Reaper a while to get down there. So by then, maybe this is all already figured out and already underway. Maybe could just run up into the main as well. Let's see, 2 Adepts guarding. Could jump up here. Even if he just jumps up here, he would be able to see the Dark Shrine. He's now just checking down towards the bottom right. So he really wants to know what the heck's going on. Starport building. He's obviously on 2 bases. He's got turrets up. In theory, he's got the setup to defend against this. We'll see if the DTs can multitask and maybe pull GuMiho apart a bit, because that would be the main way to maybe make this go a little bit differently from how it's currently stationed to go. Ooh. Sees this. Now, what you see, though, is an upgrade. So you don't necessarily know it's a Dark Shrine, and maybe that is actually the beauty of the Dark Shrine in the main, but he's actually building a turret at the front, too. So GuMiho is taking 0 risks with this. This one goes into the back of the natural, so going to try and dive into the main base via that direction. There's just turret coverage everywhere. Like, GuMiho is extremely well defended. He will not leave any openings for herO to really get in with DTs. The DTs will not be able to do much at all. Hops in, just going to go for a probe kill at least, as actually just able to get in here. So, gets in. Oh, Nelly had a probe but didn't fire the final shot on it. That's now our Archon going to be finishing. Our charge going to be done in a moment or two. That Raven is already on the way up. A couple of extra barracks still coming in as well. So just getting those continued up. Just going to see our Prism. Just going to take the 2 Archons and take them into the main base. So in we go as a Marine. Gets picked up. Let's see, that siege tank is going to be a initial target, but a lot of SCVs repairing it. I mean, they were taking a lot of damage too, and Archon nearly went down. He gets the tank. Nice kill from herO. GuMiho losing out on a siege tank there. A little bit expensive, something you'd like to keep alive, especially if he aims to push in the end. Meanwhile, herO is aiming to push. Immortal production, 6 additional gateways. It's 8 gates to make up this entire production line of herO at the moment. That's obviously pretty freaking huge. Oh, the Immortal just chrono boosting out still, as we do have our stim pack is going to be continuing up from GuMiho. Oh, probe gets shot down. The Observer gets shot down. Gonna see the SCV getting picked off this Prism through the bottom side of the map, and again, meanwhile, Immortal, Zealot, Sentry, +1 attack and stim pack all continuing to build. But a lot of it's just a long way off, and it's not necessarily going to help against this incoming huge round of gateway warp-ins that will be very influential on the main/natural in the near future. That is going to be ready to go in a second, so... Crown of Zealots warping in, couple Archons will unload, the Immortals coming through. The herO should be somewhat committed here as he drops in for the first siege tank from quite a ways away. The Immortals then get evacuated and will be brought elsewhere. The bunker will fall. The Zealot's getting choked up a lot though. The Immortals not getting re-involved in the fight, I feel like, is a mistake. It feels like they killed 1 tank and then they've just done nothing else. It's almost worth that 1 tank going down for the rest of the Immortals to just not have done anything, right? So the Immortals could have absolutely been in there, because the main Bioforce is in the main. Just took the Prism a long time to make its way over. We'll get this refinery maybe, which is cute. We've got stim and stuff now. Actually going to recall the rest of the army home. herO just expanding and apparently happy just to expand, but he's been losing some workers. This Raven being annoying across the map gets 4 kills so far. That's a nice little something at least. As GuMiho comes out of this ahead on SCVs. So maybe he has some potential still, obviously, as herO does not have a... Well, herO has a 3rd base up now. GuMiho does not. GuMiho will start a move across the map. I mean, I don't mind it, honestly. I mean, everything points towards him, to me, at least being able to do that. Twilight and the Robo are going to be denied bottom right, so the drop goes to clean that out. Obviously stops any further upgrades, stops any Robo production. So that will be the cleanup at the moment. That's another Twilight Council. And just going to be seeing a storm coming through as heroes follow-up. Well, let's hope those storms can actually connect this time instead of the High Templar just dying before they cast anything. As that happened back in game number 1, it made this a little bit of a disaster for hero, as we will see the Bioforce of GuMiho still moving across the map. We've got some harassment from hero. Maybe, honestly, should have left the Archons on the low ground. I mean, I know killing off these units seems very enticing, but actually I really would have loved to see him delay in the third base. You could have done a lot of warping Zealots there. That's absolutely a cancel. I mean, obviously it's Chaos in the main base as well that he's going to be wreaking havoc in right now. Marine drop over here. A little bit of a fight already breaking out on this side as well. So we get action kind of everywhere to begin with. Storm actually lands on that Bio Army as it continues on through. He's going to see those Zealots continue to chase this down. The Zealots in the main base and the Storg are starting to clean up. GuMiho lost a lot of work as he's down 20 workers coming out of this. And with his attack defended, oh my god, there's one Zealot is just fighting 2 sieged up tanks. It looks as though we probably have ourselves a game number 3 really trending towards hero's favor. If GuMiho can't make something happen with an army sometime soon, he is just so far behind in the economy. It's going to be brutal to try and catch up on that. 20 workers just ain't a thing that you usually catch up from. Not without an army doing something. Maybe if you can kill 20, you know, a bunch of workers yourself, sure, but right now, Zealots catch this siege tank too. Storm on top of these medevacs will try and come back in for a drop, so that does nothing at all. At the moment, he's not being allowed to find any way to deal damage. Prism makes its way down the bottom side. Bio Army still moving out a little bit. There's obviously the Prism and the counterattacks are one of the main issues for sure so far. You see a couple of Adepts in here. Wouldn't mind going to deal with that pretty well. I mean, if nothing else, you're just keeping GuMiho's army back, knowing that the army being kept back is probably the most effective thing you can do at the moment. Zealots are going to continue through for those SCVs. Now the Marine Marauder showing up. We still have 1 drop from GuMiho in the top left, and we also still have this Raven that's had 6 kills overall. Drops double turret again now, forces Hero to at least evacuate the natural for a while. Losing a couple workers in the process, but nothing he won't fix very shortly. These medevacs still not allowed to go into the bases. GuMiho catches up on supply overall, but we're still at a point, I think, where GuMiho's army setup, or his army kind of... the army that he has is just worse quality. He's got a couple of Liberators now, so that's a little bit better. And he actually doesn't have a bad Widow Mine count. Is there some potential for GuMiho in a fight? Hero's doing a lot of rebuilding right now. Obviously kind of weird. He had to rebuild a Robo, now a Robo base, second facility, and a Twilight so he can start Blink. And Hero also doesn't have upgrades, so maybe there is a way for GuMiho to win a fight, in fact. I didn't really like it, but so much of Hero's defense with the army really revolves around the Storm upgrade. Now, we've seen Storm's obviously absolutely miss in a previous game today, so that's a possibility too. This hero will not be allowed a 4th base either, and the more that GuMiho denies a 4th base, the better this goes for him. 14 probes versus 20 SCVs killed in the game, so slowly but surely, GuMiho has worked his way through those worker lines of his opponent and slowly done enough to even up the damage across the course of the game. Now it's equal worker counts because, well, it's 3 bases each. If Hero had already been allowed a 4th base, his worker count would have been up and in the lead. Again, that's not allowed here. This Observer gets shot down. Nice. I mean, has to double scan for it, but gets it. Oh, but now the DT shows up, and okay, there's so many scans available. The DT shouldn't be a problem, but GuMiho kind of didn't realize it. He kind of just ran past it. And now this DT is just kind of finding some SCVs building these barracks as well, so DT having a good time. That's a very preemptive scan before units get there. Oh, caught by concussive shells though, otherwise it really had the chance to get away with that much warning about the scan being down. Maybe a little greedy going for an SCV. It could have maybe given up, as these medevacs such low HP. Not worth them coming back one more time. This drop has been trying relentlessly to make a difference on this third base, and finally gets cleaned up. I mean, good drive from GuMiho, but like I say, just also good defense from herO. He's not really allowed GuMiho a lot of those openings all this time. Now GuMiho, though, does make a push up the right-hand side. Coming straight into this natural where we are going to see double robo is going to be denied. I mean, we're going to enter a base trade. This is going to get interesting because there's actually a lot of libs here, but why are they defending the low ground? Almost always better to defend the high ground because it just gives you more time, more reinforcements, just a narrower ramp to actually deal damage into. So I feel like that was obviously a little bit of a mistake for those liberators. A storm here. What was that storm? Trying to hit like the marine, or did he just storm his own units? I mean, it looked like he just stormed his own units, so didn't feel like the smartest of moves, as you obviously have bio units everywhere. Full-on base trade setting up. Now what is different from last time is that herO will have probes on the map, so he will be able to build a new nexus. He's got the money for that, so this base trade might lead to something of a rebuild. GuMiho obviously still has SCVs down here on a planetary. He's still currently building double starport. I think what he says is I need a way to deal with these Colossi. Is either deal with the Colossi or to build Cloak Banshees, but I mean, Cloak Banshees are a risk, hoping there's no observer. There isn't, this time around, in fact, so maybe that's a play you make knowing or assuming that a little bit. Because, hey, he has been low on robos all game because he proxied one and it got denied, so a lot of the times you would have been building observers. Maybe it's been missed, we'll see what comes off the starports. Well, right now, GuMiho is completely supply blocked. He was just trying to queue up Vikings. It was the more obvious choice, queue up Vikings, try and deal with this. Good storms onto the SCVs, as they try to surround so they can save this planetary fortress. Unfortunately, not enough, and the planetary fortress will go down. Starport's going to lift up and try and get away. There's the rebuild from herO. Nexus on the 9 o'clock base. GuMiho has one orbital escaping away, and that is going to be able to make it up to the top. As GuMiho will just clear out everything that remains from herO over here for the moment. Well, who said it better? Army supply is in herO's favor, so in a fight, maybe we are cheering on herO as the favored player. GuMiho has one starport down here, the CC, which is landed and starting to mine. His army will sit with this command center as herO will leave some units out to the left. It's a very tense game because obviously neither side is. Oh, nice feedback on the Raven, bunch of storms as well. It's one of those tense games because there's just not a lot of structures left, so if you make a misplay, if you let your opponent kind of kill a base or something, you're in trouble. herO's just going to fight. He's happy that he killed the Raven. He's going to have a Widowmine connecting, but the storms are huge, and the Colossi weren't even really needed to win this out. herO's going to win the series. He was so dead in Game 2 as well. So he turns it around, wins the series, eliminates GuMiho, and that is GG. That was actually a hell of a